Hello everyone, this is VGTI, finally back after a small hiatus. I guess small might be understating it. I'm very sorry everyone for not being active in the past few months. As I posted in my update on the channel, I've been busy. My job hasn't given me much free time, so what free time I have had, I've been spending doing other things. But things are clearing up. I might not be working here much longer because I'll be moving, and I'm on break right now, so I felt like this is the perfect opportunity to get a new theory video out there, and maybe even another one if I have time and if that's alright with you guys. We'll see how that goes. But I wanted to discuss Zelda again. It's been a little bit since my last Zelda Theories video, part 1, where I discussed the interlopers. Now, I have a lot of ideas for what to talk about with Zelda because it's such a vast series, and there's a lot of subtle things in it that could be theorized about. But the one I want to talk about today involves a specific place within the franchise, or more like a few places, and a very weird amount of similarities between them. I've been playing a lot of Zelda over the past year, just getting into the series because I hadn't beforehand. And I think that helped me a bit because playing them back to back like I did, I ended up noticing some things. Today I want to talk about the Sacred Realm from Ocarina of Time, the Twilight Zones from Twilight Princess, and the Silent Realm from Skyward Sword. You guys probably all know what I'm talking about, these three places. The Sacred Realm is of course the place where Link ends up going when he becomes an adult, so to speak, in Ocarina of Time. That's where the Temple of Light is, that's where he meets Rauru of the Seven Sages. The Twilight Zones and Twilight Princess is just all of that, like, Twilight atmosphere that's covering Hyrule that you have to clear up. And the Silent Realm, of course, is what Link has to go through in Skyward Sword to prove his worth. It's like a test of the goddess, and it's a realm he has to go to, a spiritual realm. Now, what I noticed is that there are a striking amount of similarities between all three of these things. Some are small, and some are actually quite a bit bigger similarities, ones that, you know, kind of make you suspicious. I'll just come out right now with the theory at hand. My theory is that all three of these places are actually the same place. And some of you might agree, some of you might disagree, but let me argue my point here and see what you think. Point out all the weird similarities between these places. First of all, we have the Sacred Realm. This place is a golden land. It's an alternate dimension, and it's described as like golden, like the sky in it is golden. That's frequently the descriptor used for it. It's also the resting place of the Triforce, so as you can imagine, it's a very important place in the Legend of Zelda franchise. It warps and changes depending on the mindset and wishes of whomever uses the Triforce, just like Ganondorf, which is why the Sacred Realm became corrupted in Ocarina of Time when Ganondorf uses the Triforce of Power. It also houses the Temple of Light. It can be entered in from the Temple of Time in Ocarina of Time, as we saw when Link first gets the Master Sword, and he wakes up in the Sacred Realm. And finally, there's the fact that it was created by the three golden goddesses. Next we have the Silent Realm from Skyward Sword. Now listen closely to all the things I describe about it and compare it to what I said about the Sacred Realm. First of all, the Silent Realm is a spirit realm meant to test Hylia's chosen hero, in this case Link. It potentially houses the Triforce. I say this because of the final part in Skyward Sword where you actually go to get the Triforce pieces, and it seems like the rooms you enter to get the pieces of the Triforce are actually in the Silent Realm, just because of the way the rooms look, but it also is theorized to be the Sacred Realm because of the fact that if you look out the window, the skies are golden, just like the Sacred Realm. However, couldn't it be both, possibly? Let me continue describing the Silent Realm. To enter it, a song must be played, and then Link has to thrust the goddess sword, which is the future Master Sword, into the ground. Sound familiar? The Silent Realm was created by Hylia, who is like the goddess of the goddesses. Some theorize that she's actually one of the 3 golden goddesses and not separate from them, but that's a theory for another time. Also, remember how I said the Sacred Realm can change depending on who uses it as part of the Triforce? It can change to suit their visions, so to speak. It's possible that the Silent Realm follows this same principle. It doesn't look exactly the same as the Sacred Realm because Hylia is using it as a purpose. She's using it to test her chosen hero, and that's why it looks the way it does. Finally, the last similarity I have here is that in the Silent Realm you have to collect tears and put them in a spirit vessel. Now, I'm sure a lot of you noticed this when you played Skyward Sword, because it's like the most glaring similarity here. You have to do a very similar thing in Twilight Princess when you're in the Twilight Zones. You have to kill these bugs of light and collect these tears of light so that you can put them in the Twilight Vassal and clear up the Twilight from the land. It's very similar, it looks very similar, and even the names are similar, so there's a definite connection there. Finally, we have the Twilight Zones from Twilight Princess, which I just mentioned. If you remember, the Twilight Zones were these dark zones used by Zant to cover most of Hyrule. Now, do note that when you are inside the Twilight Zones, or rather when people other than you are inside the Twilight Zones, like just normal Hylians that you encounter, they take the form of spirits. And the Silent Realm is a spirit realm. This is one of the vaguer connections, of course, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Further connecting these 3 places is that the Twilight Zones have a golden color to them because of the twilight. They have golden skies, similar to the Sacred Realm. That's basically where all the connections end, and I just wanted to mention them all to drive my point home that all of these places might be the same places. The Sacred Realm, the Silent Realm, and the Twilight Zones are actually all one and the same. They're part of the same realm, which all ties back to the Sacred Realm, really. But that does beg the question, how does Zant gain the ability to do something that powerful, to overlay bits of the Silent Realm, the Sacred Realm, over top of Hyrule? My theory is that he gets these powers because he meets Ganondorf. Obviously, we know he got more powerful after meeting Ganondorf, and who's to say that Ganondorf wasn't able to bestow these abilities on him, considering the fact that Ganondorf is the possessor of the Triforce of Power, no less. So, what do you all think? There's just a lot of connections between these places, and when I was playing the games, I just couldn't help but notice these things, and I definitely felt like they were the same place, but they were just being used for different purposes. The Sacred Realm exists as it is in Ocarina of Time, but in Skyward Sword it's being used for a specific purpose by Hylia as the Silent Realm, to test Link, and as the Twilight Zones it's being used for evil by Zant, and by extension Ganondorf. So, tell me if you guys agree with this theory or not. I know this one was kind of short, but it was just kind of a quick, brief summary of how many connections there are between these places, which didn't take long to go over at all, and I don't really have any more things to add, so if you guys have anything else to add to this theory, any questions, anything like that at all, please feel free to leave it in the comments. But one thing I want to point out, there are some key things to note about this theory and the similarities between these places. The one thing that I really want to point out is that I think the Master Sword serves as a way to enter these realms, like, no matter what. I'm not really talking about the Twilight Zones, I'm more just rambling into the point of the Silent Realm and the Sacred Realm, and how Link enters them in both games. It's very similar, involving the use of the Master Sword. And also, the Sacred Realm seems to change depending on the wishes, the purpose of the people using it. In this case, Hylia in Skyward Sword, and Zant and Ganondorf in Twilight Princess. It's just important to note these things to further the connection that these places have. So that's it for this theory, guys. Sorry if you wanted a longer one. I didn't mean to make it so short, but there wasn't too much to discuss here. So feel free to continue the discussion in the comments. And like I said, I might make another video in the course of my break. I'm not honestly sure yet, because normally I take like at least a week-long break in between videos just to let the video sit and everything, but since it's been so long since I've been active on this channel, I might make another one. So possibly keep an eye out for that later on in the coming days. There may be something, there might not be, we will see. Anyways guys, thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you have any thoughts, things you want to point out, further discussions, or any theories that you want me to cover, leave them in the comments and I will see what I can do. Go ahead and like the video, maybe subscribe to my channel, it does help out, or you can go about your business. And I will see you all next time I make a video, which may be soon.